Mahabharata is such an epic wherein you can take out a lot of stories from that. So these are two stories we have picked up from Mahabharata for you today. One is Chakravyuha that talks about Abhimanyu, and the other one is Yuyutsu, the very less known character of Mahabharata. So these two books are being discussed on Infort Honori today. So stay locked and watch Infort Honori to understand more secretive incidents in Mahabharata. Welcome to Infort Honori.
Content ಇಷ್ಟ ಆದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್, ಶೇರ್ and subscribe ಮಾಡಿ.
Welcome to Infort Honori. Today on our show we have Aniket Sharma with us, the author of two different books we are doing. The author of two books we are going to know about today. So one book is named as Chakravyuha and the other is Yuyutsu. So both the characters or both the situations are brought in from the Mahabharata. Absolutely. So somewhere I feel, as an author, I think you will agree with me, Ramayana and Mahabharata are the two epics, out of which I think thousands of books are. And of late, I get to know about different characters in depth, because of such books. And Yuyutsu gains his importance because he takes over after all the war. And the only Kaurava who remains after Mahabharata. There are certain things, and I still remember, Gandhari talking about his birth. How did it happen, and how unhappy was she? All these things. So Chakravyuha is always a discussed topic, maybe because even today, the scientific research is happening that how can a child learn things when it is in the womb of a mother. So Chakravyuha is the example that is quoted for generations, that Abhimanyu would learn Chakravyuha, how to get into it. And it was told that, the Krishna stopped it in between, and the Abhimanyu would not know how to come back. That is where he gives himself for the... So all these things are very interesting. And all of us know about all these. So what is that you have added in these two books?
Interesting. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for picking the two books. And so let me talk about Chakravyuha first, and we'll pick the other later. So the story of Abhimanyu has always, intrigued me, fascinated me, that how a 16-year-old boy can be so courageous or have so much of a strength within him that he decided to get inside something which he knew already that he will not be able to come out of. And when I reflect myself at what I was doing when I was 16 years old, and when the other 16 years old whom I see, what are the different things they are doing, and then what these epics tell us or teach us with the different characters. And then Abhimanyu is one of the characters which came out so strongly in my learning of Mahabharata that I thought of doing some bit of more research around it and trying to understand what was real Abhimanyu. What we do is, when we read Mahabharata, there are major characters we always tend to hear thanks to the TV episodes, movies, or multiple other adaptations, or we tend to listen more or get to know more about the key characters around it. So Arjun's son, Krishna's involvement, Krishna's sister, Subhadra, and then other Pandavas and other Kauravas. Everywhere there are, lot of strong characters, and then there is a young boy. First, I was reading the episodes of war day by day, every day what is happening every day, how things are moving. First day what happened till the 10th day when Bhishma decided, or Arjun actually made him learn from Bhishma how to defeat him, and then defeated him on the war field. So 10th day and then the 13th day when this episode happened of Abhimanyu and Chakravyuha happened. So if we see day by day, when we read about Abhimanyu, or when we listen about get to go about Abhimanyu, is always about Chakravyuha. Like Chakravyuha, Abhimanyu, that's all.
Yes.
But what has happened from day one,
Hmm.
or what has happened even before day one of the war, when Abhimanyu was brought into the war field?
Okay.
How? Because he was newly married
Hmm.
when he was decided. Okay, when the war was decided, and he was like, okay, you're married now, but there is a war. There is a
Even after the declaration of the war, they decided
to get married. Right? So everybody knew that there is a war going to happen, and this boy had to marry, and then he got married, and there is a long happy life for him. If he would have decided not to participate, he would have gone with his wife, maybe gone away and lived happily. But who knows? But he had a different viewpoint also. Arjun has a different viewpoint also.
That is the destiny, because even before the marriage happens, I remember Krishna talking to Uttara, stating that your son will be the next emperor. So happily get married to him.
You do that, but
And probably she would not realize that why, when my husband is alive, my son will take over.
take over. Yes. So there are many, ifs and buts in the story. There are many back stories, front stories, forward stories, backward stories. But this book Chakravyuh focuses on the 13 days of the war, day 1 till day 30. Each episode when Abhimanyu outperformed on the battlefield. Within his capacity, whatever he could do, how he was as good as Arjun, how he was as intelligent as Krishna, how he was as strong as Bhim, and how he was as beautiful or handsome as Nakul and Sahadev. These all, different shades of his life, different thoughts which are move around him. And what I did was I got into his character and started thinking then that if a character, if a hero of the story is in the middle of a battlefield, and they are like, he knows that the war is there, war is happening, and my father is there, he will be leading. I am here. My job is assigned to me is to protect the king. What is going to be my destiny? I don't know. And but I am committed to my job. What is given to me? Whatever my commander says, I will follow that. And with that commitment, each day he followed. He continued in the war field. And then we all know what happened on 13th day. But before 13 days, or before those, like from day 1 to day 12, Abhimanyu most of the time gets overshadowed by the other key characters. So I thought of bringing his story also or for all of us to know that he was there, very well there for for 13 days.
Somehow I feel, Abhimanyu gets that limelight compared to even Ghatotkacha becomes a barb of war, as strong as Bhima. And he is also, only during the birth of him, there is some light thrown on his character and his mother. And after that, probably, he is brought to light because of the war. And what happens, that late night war happens and he heads to pitches. And there are 5 Upapandavas also. But none of these characters get the importance of Abhimanyu. So why do you think Abhimanyu's character is given so much of importance? This is because of Chakravyuha?
There are two aspects to look into it. When we see any warrior, or when we learn from the life of any warrior, we tend to see that what are the key elements or key episodes which have happened in like what it's like. Now, if you see Ghatotkacha, when he was born, they were in jungle.
Yes.
Hima's wife in Hidimbi, there was a mutual understanding between them. I will not say there is a contract signed, but there was a mutual understanding that Ghatotkacha will stay back with the mother and protect the local tribe there, local family there, while Bhima and others are continuing to be in the forest or dwelling in the forest. So, did Ghatotkacha not follow his father? He followed it. Whatever Bhim told him to follow, he did that. And Bhim said, whenever there will be a need, I will call you. whenever I will be in that trouble that nobody can except you will be able to help in that situation, I will call you. Till that time, you will have to wait. That was Ghatotkacha. All these Upapandavas whom we talk about, uh, they they were sons of the only one queen which is married to Kali. So they were all protected. They were all loved ones, protected ones, and they were not warriors. They were warriors. They also have all the qualities of all these five Pandavas, but they were meant for different duties, because they were like, if after winning of the battle, what will happen next will be the journey of these Pandavas will start. We will have to pick and choose who will take the legacy forward. So their episodes become very limited. Their learning happened in certain environment. Their learning happened with someone in a different setup altogether. So they were not ready for something which is larger than anyone's understanding. So they were like, okay, whenever your chance will come, we'll pick you. But if you see Abhimanyu, uh, lived with Krishna and Balram, learned from them. Who else could be the greatest mentor for them? Arjun's son, Arjun, everybody knew how he lived his entire life and how he was very much focused. So everyone knew that, okay, whatever be the situation, Arjun's son is going to be one of the brightest or the topmost warrior. So look at the pressure which he was dealing with from the young age. And then also from the perspective of whether he was able to live up to the expectations or not. But you should see his journey of living, and then Arjun deciding that, okay, you should get married to Uttara now, or even not seeing him for 12, 13 years, but once they meet, there is a decision that, okay, you should get married, and then they decide that. So every character has a life to live, and there is there's a moderator for every character. So there was Krishna who was deciding that what should be done next. There was Arjun who was deciding, maybe not as a defined or named commander in the army, but he was intelligent enough to know that how to take this forward. So Abhimanyu was meant to be to become the central character, but in my viewpoint, if I see it from a Mahabharata as a story, as a not as a not from the perspective of any divine intervention, or if I see as a novel story, I would say if Chakravyu would not have happened, then Abhimanyu would not have become so popular. But if on the flip side also, if Chakravyu would not have happened, then possibly he would have become much more powerful than Arjun also, because of his the way he was growing, with the way he was learning. And why such confidence I'm saying it, because the first 13 days of war he has proved for all those things, that he learned something in that young age, for 13, 14, 15 years, to the time when he was with Krishna. He learned everything, and that he had shown on the war field. So he might have become more powerful than in the war field.
So that was a great character to read about. Going ahead, Yuyutsu is another character, probably not sung more in Mahabharata. Now here and there we get to hear who he is.
Yeah.
So what made you pick up Yuyutsu as a character in Mahabharata?
So when I was writing about Abhimanyu, I just stumbled upon this character, and then there were there are 100 brothers of Kauravas. They were they're all united together, and whatever Duryodhan says, everybody following. So why करेंगे जो बड़ा है वो लेकर थे. This guy has a different opinion about everything, and then his birth has a different story, and everybody.
So for the viewers to understand his birth story.
So he was born to a maid of Dhritarashtra, and now no prizes to guess how it happened, but while Gandhari was pregnant, this episode happened when Khan Yuyutsu born. and then it was Dhritarashtra was his biological father and born to a maid. Dhritarashtra accepted him as a son, but not as a heir or not as a successor. Gandhari could never accept him because, of course, obvious reasons. Yutsu's mother lived a very different life. I try to touch about Yutsu's mother also in the story. Very different life, a very difficult life because uh, she considered herself as a loved one in that small group when Dhritarashtra and that episode of Dhritarashtra and the Yutsu's mother happened. But she never got chance to be in the main stream of family. She was never in the family affairs. She was never in the discussions over any other family affairs. So I was thinking that what could be the Yutsu's mindset at that time? Because he was as equal as other Kauravas. His father was Dhritarashtra. He was in the Gurukul where other Kauravas and Pandavas are getting trained. His Pitama accepted him as one of the other, like other princes were getting trained. He was also getting trained. But what could be his mindset at that time that I will never become a king, no matter which side takes it forward. I can never become the king. He lived his entire life with that thought, but he chose to stay to the side which he felt which was right. That
He supports Pandavas in the
yeah, he supported Pandavas in the story, and then of course the thought of dharma, responsibilities, duties, righteousness, and all those things are coming.
There are debate, Jujutsu was alive, as Kaurava just because he supported Pandavas. Is it?
Yeah, that's a story, and then Yudhishthira in one of the episodes says also that you chose to stay with us, and that is why you are sitting with me. But consider from the fact that if he was as good as he was other Kauravas equal as good as in his strength, he was as good as them. He vowed to kill all the Pauravas who were born to Gandhari. So he did not say that okay, I will kill every son of Dhritarashtra or something. He said who were born of Gandhari, he will kill. He killed them. Yutsu was never in that vow. So every story has a flip side of it. We always tend to see what is shown to us. But there's every story which has a flip side of it. To see from the Yutsu's perspective.
And probably, because of that flip side, the stories are more interesting.
Absolutely, yes. And that is where I picked these characters who are more eager to tell their side of the stories. If you read the story and then if you start thinking from their perspective, that more interesting things start coming out. And what is happening at that time when Yutsu was in the battlefield, he was thinking that okay, my father is the same father. I mean, my father is here.
No, he would have chosen to fight. Yeah, he would have chosen to fight. At least let me rule a part of your kingdom. I am also your son.
Absolutely. Something of that sort, think from the perspective, if he would have gone to Dhritarashtra and asked for a piece of land to become a king of that, and Dhritarashtra would have refused it because he would never have seen anybody beyond Duryodhan, right? So absolutely he would not have accepted his request also. And then his decision of moving to the other side of it, we can only speculate that this could have happened, that could have happened. So the story flows in this way, and then in bits and pieces we can only say that okay, if this is the episode which has happened, think about the situation when Abhimanyu died. On the same day, Duryodhan's son also died.
Right.
Because Abhimanyu killed Duryodhan's son and then the Abhimanyu died. Right. So for Yutsu both are equal. Think about his dilemma. He might have certain reservations for his other co-brothers. He might have other reservations with the Pandavas, but the next generation sons were both of them were equal to him. And think about his dilemma at that time. So that actually intrigued me to write forward further about him. And then the episode of Abhimanyu's death and Lakshman is the son of Duryodhan. Duryodhan's son, I have highlighted both in parallel. That what was Yutsu's thinking at that time. I was looking at Abhimanyu's dead body, but when I suddenly realized that okay, Lakshman is also dead, and then he ran towards the other side of the camp, and he saw Lakshman's dead body also there. Think about the situation. Arjun was dealing with another thief. Duryodhana was dealing with another thief. What was his thief? He was dealing with a different story, right?
So every character has a vision.
Yeah, actually.
Then what happens at the end of Mahabharata, or the war? Yuyutsu is the one to take over.
So actually, this whatever you and I feel should be the the logical end to the story. If I would have given that power to rewrite, I would have definitely chosen Yutsu to take the legacy forward because he had
Why?
uh,
Why?
because he had seen everything. He had lived the emotions. He was warrior by himself. He learned all the traits. He was a skilled soldier, warrior, and then he was well read like other princes. And he had all the traits of becoming the king also.
And where I feel the plus point is when the Vasrapahan session is happening, Jujutsu is the only person who raises his voice. And amidst the great warriors, and people claim, Bhishma was there, Dronacharya was there, and nobody came to the help of Draupadi. But still, Jujutsu raises his voice, stating that what is happening is wrong. If I somehow feel the character of a king is to save his whoever it is.
Yes.
Maybe she's a queen, she's a maid, she's just a...
Yeah.
If the king has that ability to save, have that valor to tell that this is wrong, have that courage to raise voice against another stronger person, and I think he deserves to be.
He deserves to be. He deserves to be in that at that position of leading. Because if you see, Kauravas were all dead. Pandavas, okay, we visited the other four brothers survived, and it was like okay, Abhi, they will become the king. Everybody knew it. What if suppose both side of the brothers would have died? The other perspective, and who is the one that one person who would lead? If he was to would have survived, then he automatically becomes that one person to continue the legacy. The other point of view also here is, Yudhishthir was by default, decided that he will become the king, and then because all the Upandavas were dead, Abhimanyu was dead, so Abhimanyu's son was there to continue the legacy. Only hope was there. Now see, after war, for next 18 years, 20 years, Yudhishthir has to rule till the boy becomes capable of becoming the king or transferring the powers. If Pandavas decides that okay, we have to retire now. If that episode is coming that they are also losing their strength, their powers, or the retirement age comes for everyone. Yudhishthir picks Yutsu to be the mentor of Parikshit. Why so? Because he knew that Yutsu has all the abilities, qualities to at least mentor or becoming the guide of a king, if not the king, but maybe the kingmaker. So something of that sort. So he becomes larger than the king at that point of time. And if you see Bhishma's story also, Bhishma's story also says a similar thing. I will not become king, but I will always protect the kingdom. How Yusuf is different than that?
Oh, very nice comparison. Probably I never thought of Jujutsu as Vishnu or somebody.
I mean, it's all the perception, and I am not saying that he's as good as Bhishma or he is like more than that. There's no comparison at all. It is always about how you read the story and how you comprehend and how we all perceive it and take it forward. How it is my understanding. It could be different to you. It could be different to other readers also.
So I think only once we read these two books, we will have new avenues opening, new thought. So these episodes were brought to enhance the habit of reading in the youngsters. So These two books, the Chakravyuh and Yuyutsu, discussed with the author Aniket Sharma. Hope you find this episode informative. Thank you so much.